Hello again, this is Dolores Cannon with the Metaphysical Hour, and I'm still doing it by myself right now. We're going to have guests later in the month, but if anybody that knows me, with 13 books out there, I have plenty to talk about, and I can always find some kind of a subject to bring up anyway. But it is strange when I sit here in my office just talking to the wall when I'm used to speaking to audiences. But we're going to have another subject tonight. But let me give out the telephone numbers first in case anyone does want to call in. For those in the States that want to call in, the number is 1-888-268-4313. 1-888-268-4313. Those overseas who want to call in other countries, the number is 1-281-419-7697. 1-281-419-7697. Right. I've got so many different subjects with the different books, but I didn't want to start on some of them until I could continue every week. Like I did try to finish up the Jesus material, and I tried to do a lot about the life after death. And some of the other ones are going to be a lot more information, so I'm going to want to do those step by step and continue each week so that I can get all the information in. But tonight, it's rather a continuation of the life after death, but it's going off in a different direction. Tonight I want to talk about non-human bodies, when you can have lifetimes in other bodies besides those that are the physical body that you're familiar with. You know, a lot of people are so into this physical body, they don't realize that you can have other lives. And some of them, just to think that they've had one other lifetime, really blows them away. They say, you mean I've been here before? I have been alive before, and that's about all that their minds can handle at that time. Of course, I've gone way beyond that now. I'm into all the other different kinds of lives you have had. And I've taken people through as many as 30 Earth lives. But then I began finding even that was still just scratching the surface. You must remember, you are not a body, you have a body. This physical body you're wearing right now is just like a suit of clothes. You put it on for this lifetime, and you wear it through this entire lifetime. But like any suit of clothes, eventually it's going to wear out, and it's going to get ragged, and you're going to have to throw it away. No matter how attached you get to it, eventually you will have to go on and get rid of this body. And all you do after you have the period of rest and consultation and everything on the other side, then you just find another suit of clothes, another costume that you're going to put on to wear in the next lifetime. And that's all it is, because the real you, the real part of you, is the soul, the spirit. That's the part that we're more concerned with, not the outward costume that you wear each time you step upon this stage that we call Earth. And that's all it is. It's just a stage. You play different parts. It's a game. No matter how we get wound up we get into it and how serious we take it, when we go to the other side, we can look back and say, well, it was just a game. When I've taken people through their lives and they go to the other side, they look back and they say, it's just like a stage play. I can see all of the actors in the wings getting ready to come on stage to play their parts. But they said when I was there, it was so serious and I was so involved in it. But now, when I'm over here, it's like the blink of an eye. and they could see that it was just like a game. Well, I like to think of it, and what I've wrote about is that it is like a school. We come here to learn lessons. Not all the lessons are easy. Many of them are very hard, but that's all part of learning. We come to learn lessons, and this is a school where you might have to fail a grade and go backwards, but you cannot skip a grade. So the main thing is to do the best you can, so the next time around you go into a different type of lesson, and maybe it'll be easier, maybe it won't, but at least it'll be a different one, and hopefully you've learned enough that you become evolved enough that you'll keep moving up the ladder, and each lifetime won't be as difficult as the one you've just come through. But many people do take on a great deal of responsibility and karma that they want to pay back. And I've found there are more souls in line for the handicapped bodies than for the normal bodies. Many more souls lined up for the handicapped, the disabled bodies, than the normal ones. And I think if you think about that, it's like, why? Why would that be so? Well, how much are you going to really learn if you were in a class where everything was easy? All the homework and all of the lessons that you had to go through in that class were so easy, you were just skating through it. What would you really learn? Not a whole lot anyway. You might be having an easy time of it, but you're not really learning a lot. You learn a whole lot more when there's obstacles, when there's difficulties put in your way. But souls that are in line for the handicapped bodies, many of them have a lot of karma they want to repay. And they decide to come back in a handicapped body because they found you can repay as much karma in that one lifetime as a handicapped and a disabled. It would normally take you 10 lifetimes to pay back because it isn't that easy. But look at what they're teaching people. And we have found that before they come back, they do make an agreement on the other side, not consciously with the people here. The parents, they're not going to consciously remember these contracts and the ones that they've agreed to. But the soul coming in has already made a contract with the parents, the mother and the father, that they will be their parents and they will take care of them. And it may be repaying karma from many lives back. We never know. But they make this agreement, and they also know that the child is going to be handicapped, disabled, retarded, whatever it is. And they make the agreement to come back when the child comes back to take care of this child and lead it through the lifetime. And this will be a lot of very important repaying of karma. We wouldn't know the reasons unless we went into each individual case as why this had to be repaid. But the parents that take care of the handicapped child, the disabled child, the retarded child, look at what they learn from this. They may not realize it when they're in the middle of it, in the difficulties, but they are repaying. They're learning a great deal of lessons from taking care of this child. Also, when you see someone that is handicapped, when you see a retarded child, how do you react? How does it affect you when you see these people? They are teaching everyone they come in contact with, everyone they meet, everyone that sees them on the street. They are teaching all of them something. Do you recoil and not want to even look at these kind of people? Or do you try to understand? Do you maybe have too much sympathy and have pity? Whatever it is, it's a lesson that they have volunteered to teach people, anyone that they come in contact with. And that is the main thing, is how do we react? The ideal situation, once you know about reincarnation, once you know about karma and repaying debts, the ideal situation would be, when you see someone like that, is just to think, gee, they really took on a hard one this time. I wonder what happened that put them into that position. But you have to admire them for agreeing to come into a body that's misshapen and genetically something is wrong with it. You have to admire them that they have chosen this, and they've really taken on a difficult role this time around. But once you can start thinking that way, you can look at them entirely different. You can see them as a soul instead of the costume that they are wearing at this time, the outer shell. You can see them as a soul within that body. This is what it's all about, learning to look at people and see them in a different way. Once you have accepted the teachings of reincarnation and the rules and what it's all about, there can be no judgment and there can be no prejudice. Because how do you know you weren't that race or that religion in another life? And how do you know you're not going to be that race or that religion if you are too judgmental and too prejudiced? Because that would be the way that you would have to repay it. Be one of the most valuable ways that next time around you would be the very thing that you are prejudiced against. This is why you learn how to balance all of this. And this is really all that Jesus was trying to teach us anyway. Love thy neighbor, love everyone, because you don't know what they've been through and what they're signed up to go through. What's that old saying? You don't know about anyone until you've walked in their shoes. So you don't want to judge, because this is their time around. You have yours, and you're learning lessons as you go. But some people, just to think that they've had one life as a human being is startling enough, if they only knew the real truth. Because what I've found, you have many, many other lives that are non-human before you get to the point where you are a human being. This is kind of like the last step on Earth anyway, in the earthly, what do you want to call it? Not evolution, it is the different pecking orders, the grades you have to go through. Because I have found before you are finished with life and you can go to the other side and stay there, you have to be everything. And that means everything. You have to learn the lessons of absolutely everything as you move through life. And it was kind of startling when I began to find this out in my sessions I do with people. As you must remember, I've been doing this for 40 years. I've done thousands and thousands of people. So eventually, I guess I am going to find just about every possible life you can think of. And it is interesting when you can do this, and you have to have an open mind. In the beginning, when I began to come across non-human life, it was a little startling. But I found you have to be everything. This means, starting at the very basic level, you have to be gas. You have to be part of the atmosphere.